Sometimes I think about myself. I wish I was somewhere else, far from my fear, anxiety, far from my weakness. I could be gone, but I'm just afraid. I refuse to fix the problem, and I think I can carry on. You can lie, you can try, but you'd like to leave this feeling. We got to breathe, to dig, to leave the life we are dreaming. It could go wrong, but I'm just a nest. You must be lonely, but you could be crazy if you keep looking down. Don't you cry no more, even if I hate no more. Even if I want to know more, your head should be lonely. Tears is in mine. Life is waiting for you. All your life is waiting for your soul to shine. So to see the beauty of the world. Sometimes I think about myself, and I wish me the best. But I just think I'm missing my voice and skills, I must confess. I'm speaking in English, but I'm just French. I would like to speak better, add a better fine rhyme to my letter on time like a watchmaker. You can lie, you can try, but you'd like to leave this feeling. We got to breathe, to dig, to leave the life we are dreaming. It could go wrong, but I'm just a nest. You must be lonely, but you could be crazy if you keep looking down. Tears is in mine. Love is waiting for your love is waiting for your soul to shine. So to see the even if I hate no more, even if I want to know more, your head should be lonely. Tears is in mine. Love is waiting for your love is waiting for your soul to shine. So to see the
I think it's about time to get this shindig going.
Distance nerding.
What up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome everybody here to Distance Nerding. I am your boy, Young Phil. James Navarro obviously isn't here, but he says, apparently, the Beast Awakens. That is a reference you will understand here in a moment if you don't understand it right away. Guys, it's your boy Young Phil here to get back into the build. And I hope you guys miss me because I miss everybody when I'm not around you. Introductions are to be had. So first person I'm going to bring on here, she makes me better in every way. She is literally my better half. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally reintroduce everyone to the one, the only, the special, La Jackie. Oh, speak again.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going, Jack?
It's going.
It's going. You're alive?
I'm alive and well.
That's what matters. All right. Bringing him back on. He hasn't been on the show for a while. But that being said, I miss the guy. And I always enjoy every time he's on the show. And it's good that he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, to help me with this week's build and with this interview we're going to be doing here, he is the blind superhero, the man who can't breathe without an inhaler. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our boy, Squints.
What up? What up?
Oh, no, apparently we can't see his face because, boom.
You know, I hide behind a banner or whatever.
I know. How's it been, man?
Good. It's been a rough couple months, but, you know, things are looking up. So,
right. Now, before I bring on our guest here, I'm going to shout out our sponsors really quickly because I want to get him on and not waste his time. But first sponsor to throw out there, guys, we have an entire channel, stream, everything, and it is brought to you by the great and wonderful people at Poddex. Poddex are a unique interview question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to go and check out poddex.com. Now, guys, use the code NERDING10. Where's my little thingy at? Right there. NERDING10 to get 10% off at poddex.com. They do all kinds of stuff. So you guys have actual physical decks, you have the app, and then of course the merch that they have a whole podcaster like Supreme line. It's actually really cool if you guys haven't checked them out yet. So guys, go to poddex.com, put in the code nerding10 and get 10% off of your entire purchase. That being said, if the whole stream is brought to you by Poddex, then ladies and gentlemen, Young Phil and all the energy that comes out of me is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby is an emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrins, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Guys, you got to go to www.dubby.gg and use the code nerding10 for 10% off. Real quick, I gotta change something here because it's killing me that Squints' face keeps getting cut off here. Boom.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. So there's that right there. Now, yeah, guys, I'm going to make my little quick mix of Dubby today. I am going to be doing Dragonade, and I'm going to be doing, I'm going to mix it here. So Dragonade with the Galaxy Grenade. This is
Oh,
going to be
cocktail.
it's a whole cocktail, right? And of course, I'm putting it in my Deadpool shaker here. So let's go ahead and shake this up. Now, as I'm getting this ready and whatnot, guys, I am very excited about the guests we're bringing on here today. I don't know if you guys are just as excited as I am. I knew a little bit about him, but like the whole week or the last 2 weeks, I have been researching his music, and I am like a million times more a fan of his because he makes the kind of music that I like to listen to begin with. Like he makes my workout music. But the only way that I can really describe him here, he is a singer, songwriter, a man who made who became famous doing American Idol. But I mean, on that there, he is really, I can say this confidently, the prince of freaking metal. All right. Hey kids, it's singer songwriter all around badass James Durbin. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put him up here. Look at that.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, you have to kiss his hand.
Oh yeah, kiss the ring.
Yeah, kiss the ring. Sorry, I should have told you. It's actually Lord Durbin now. For my birthday, my wife got me a lordship, so I'm officially a Lord of Glencoe, Scotland.
I was gonna say you got one of those Scottish. That's awesome.
I am a landowner in Scotland.
Look at that. He's
So I am officially a lord. A laird.
a lord.
A lord. I've got my lord card here. Look at that. There you go.
Uh-oh, it's official.
He's a card-carrying lord.
Card-carrying lord.
This certifies. Right there. I'm a certified
Just
lord.
was another round of applause.
Sound like the millions and millions. Yeah.
With creamy rices.
Yeah. It always rises to the top. Yeah. Unjustifiably in a position I would rather not be in. Uh-huh.
Greatest. All right. So while we do this, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over here. Over to the build that I'm building, ladies and gentlemen. I am continuing the Tumbler here from Batman, and in the meantime, we are also going to we're gonna learn more about our man James Durbin here.
It's Lord
Learning.
Durbin.
Lord Durbin.
Come to learn, children.
Now, Lord Durbin, I gotta ask you: are there any other titles? Like, are you first of your name? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, just James. Just James is good. Or Durbin. Or James Durbin. I mean,
Yeah, there you go.
all three work. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I am Lord Durbin. Durbin.
Yeah. Or Durbin.
Like James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just
Durbin. James Durbin.
Durbin. Like Madonna, just Durbin.
Durbin, yeah.
But it's my actual title. So.
The Durbinator.
The
Yes!
Durbinator, I've gotten that too. Yeah. Actually, my fans are the Durbinators.
So I can officially call myself a Durbinator now. Is that a thing that I can do?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You can join the James Durbin's Outcast Army Durbinator fan group on Facebook.
Oh, if that's a thing, I'm actually going to join it.
That is the official, unofficial fan page. Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, I've been listening to Beast Awakens nonstop for like the last week.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
You have a favorite song?
Easily was the one with Chris Jericho. It's
Kings Before You.
Kings Before You. I was gonna say like, I was gonna dyslexic the hell out of that.
Yeah.
I was like, before Kings, that's wrong. Okay. But no, that one is easily that, and then Beast Awakens, and it was Into Flames.
Yeah, Into the Flames.
Into the
Thank
Flames. Yeah, those are the ones that I like the most. Necromancer's been growing on me a lot.
Necromancer is a grower. It's definitely a grower.
Not a shower.
Not a shower.
It is a shower, but it's definitely one that it's very. The riff is very busy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mathematical riff, if you will. It's just kind of like a scale for the most part. I'd never really been much of a riff writer as far as guitar playing and songwriting goes. I've always been very chord based. And so what ended up becoming Durbin the Beast Awakens as an album was pretty much just my foray into saying, I mean, well, the pandemic hit. I was talking to a bunch of different songwriters and was like, hey, I'm working on this record. I got this idea. Can we do some co-writes? And then was planning things out to write songs with other people that are like great guitar players. And then the pandemic hit. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta be that guy. So
Yeah.
of course, the age-old saying is fake it till you make it.
Right.
And I faked it and I made the thing. And suddenly I'm, putting guitar player on my resume. So
Is that how you hooked up with Phil Demmel?
I met Phil Demmel at a Fozzy show, actually.
And that all comes together right there. The fact that Chris Rock, you see where my mind's at right now. The fact that,
that's tough.
Jericho is on that song. That all makes sense.
Yeah, I met Chris back during Idol. He was on Dancing with the Stars at the same time, and they filmed in the same studio. So it's just happenstance. We happened to meet up. Hulk Hogan appeared the night on Idol and told me that I was going through to the rest of the rounds, the top 11, our season ended up being, and then subsequently to go on tour. And he was like, this was this big night where, they popped that surprise on us. And then to make matters even better, Jericho pops over to the studio the very next day. And it was very rare that someone from Dancing with the Stars would come over to Idol because, Dancing with the Stars is, at that time it was, I can't speak for every season because I don't watch, but at that time it was quote unquote stars, and, right. And rarely are they coming over to, hang out with us peasants over on the American Idol stage, just us budding hope to be would-be stars. And it was really cool. He just came over and was like, hey man, saw Hogan on the show yesterday. You a wrestling fan? I'm like, dude, here's my all-time favorite in-ring performer, best on the mic, best at constantly changing his thing, his presentation, and succeeding at it. So it's like, this is crazy. This is great. And so him and I started actually hanging out. We weren't technically supposed to be leaving the hotel or the studio from Idol. I would always find the back door and sneak out and go hang out with Jericho and The Miz and Maurice, hanging out at Boa Steakhouse, bougie Boa Steakhouse on Sunset Boulevard.
Yes.
Can I say just how insanely jealous I am right now?
It was a moment in time. So that's not my life. That was an experience.
But just being able to hang out with them is that's where, like I said, I'm just extremely jealous.
Well, that's
it's difficult. I'm sorry. It's difficult not being a mark,
Right.
I hate using that term, but people use it and they muddy and sully the name of wrestling fan. But it was great just hanging out with them, just being like, yeah, I do this. And, just trying to hide like, this is no big deal. I'm just hanging out in my Canadian tuxedo at the steakhouse, just, taking the shit out of it. So, it was great.
This is great because I had a whole plan for a joke that was going to lead into a question, and you kind of already answered that question without it. I was going to ask you, man, how's it feel to make the list?
I didn't make the list, but it's great. The AEW shirt I love. I gotta get me one of those. I've currently the only AEW shirt that I have in my arsenal is a Join Dark Order shirt.
Nice,
like the first one.
Yeah.
Because I've liked the Dark Order since the Human Throne, but I was just DMing with Justin Roberts, ring announcer extraordinaire. And we became friends a number of years ago, and then when I was with Quiet Riot, he'd come to whenever we played in Arizona, he'd always come to those shows. Yeah,
man. So tell us a little bit about your time with Quiet Riot.
It was fun. What do you want to know?
Like, how did that happen? How did you get like how did you get involved with Quiet Riot? That must have been like a dream come true.
It was. It definitely was a dream come true. And then be careful what you wish for. But it was good. It was really, really freaking cool. I was on American Idol, so that's a big, a big sign with a big arrow,
Right.
and doing metal too, and kind of supporting and representing that community, or trying to at least. And
you did a good job, man.
Thank you. But I had been approached by the late great Frankie Benali, and he was interested in me singing for the band. I had just signed a contract to perform in a brief residency in Las Vegas, and that wouldn't work simultaneously with joining QR. And so it was just kind of like, okay, well, this doesn't work. All right. And so I went to Vegas and I did my thing, and they got a different singer and did their thing for a minute. And it ended up not working out with him. While I was in Vegas, I ended up reconnecting with Quiet Riot's current guitar player, Alex Grossi. He's been the guitarist in the band for 17 years at this point, longer than any other guitar player in the band. But we had known each other kind of a... we knew each other. What's the word I'm looking for? Co something. Anyway, but we kind of knew each other. His ex-wife was one of my attorneys, and so I knew him through her. And we became friends. We started songwriting together, and we started a songwriting team, and we're pitching songs to different movie studios for different things. We had a few songs on lock for the Lego Ninjago movie, but they fell out of the edit, so we were pretty bummed about that. But we just started songwriting and decided to release a bunch of those songs under our own group name called Maps to the Hollywood Scars. It's actually Hollywood Scars, but when you let other people do the listing on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff, it gets all jumbled up. So it ended up as Maps to the Hollywood Scars.
About Hollywood,
you can find it.
Like we tried to do a lot of research in trying to find music from Hollywood Scars, and it's like the only place we could find it was on MySpace, and it was like not accessible.
That was the OG Hollywood Scars. Yeah, that was my band pre-Idol.
Yeah,
I've tried using the Wayback Machine to try and
I looked on the
Wayback
Machine trying to get it, man.
Oh, you can't do it. I tried also. We only had one song back then.
Under the Cherry Tree.
Under the Cherry Tree. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I told you I did my research.
That song was stupid. So
I wanted to hear it nonetheless. Like the whole idea was I wanted to hear the song that I could say, dude, so I've heard this song. And like whether it was good or bad, I could like say, what was your deal? Or I could say like, oh yeah, it was actually pretty good, man. Like, but I haven't heard it, so I can't say anything.
For sure. Well, I resurrected the band name and then kept going with it with Alex, and we put out something. But then around the same time, the Quiet Riot singer at the time, Sean Nichols, he ended up not working out in the band because the band management is just, it's their band. They do whatever the hell they want with the band with no consequences to anybody else, or right. They don't have anybody else to answer to. So whether it's the right thing to do or not, they make their choice. It's their stuff. So
right.
And you got to respect it or walk. So I at the time didn't know that, but at the time I was working with Alex all the time, and he kind of gave me the tap on the shoulder and said, you should know the set. You never know when someone might call. And so I learned the set, and then I remember the day very well. I was at my house. I was on the porch. I was yelling at my neighbor's kids. I was eating soup and drinking a beer.
Get off my grass!
Basically. And Frankie calls me and he's like, basically like, I want to offer you the position as singer in Quiet Riot. And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, let's talk, actual business and get our attorneys and our financials and stuff.
He's just like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I was between gigs, like major gigs, and was like, this is a major gig. And yeah, so we basically went for it. We hadn't made any music together. We hadn't played a note of music together. And we did a photo shoot, and then we went and had lunch, and then we went and rehearsed. And then it was like, okay, cool. We did 1 day of rehearsal. We went through the set maybe twice. Touched on a couple things that needed to be done in extra time. And then 3 or 4 days later, I went and did my first show in, I think, Wichita with them. And I was with them for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We did two studio albums and 1 live album, live in Milan.
Yeah, I was looking into those because that was right before you did this album, right?
Yes.
Because you left them 2019, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty hardcore, noteworthy thing. I had to bring that up.
So I know we have a producer in common. I worked with a couple different bands, but I'm good friends with POD and
Nice.
Howard Benson. So
Howard is incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Howard is a G. Howard walks in his black sweatpants, his black sweatshirt.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that I'm just like, okay.
Dyed black hair, black sunglasses, black glasses.
Yeah.
Black shoes, came off his black mountain bike, walks in the studio, pops a chicken pot pie in the microwave, and goes and sits down in his chamber. And I went upstairs up the spiral staircase. I forget what the name of the studio was, but at this point, at the same time that Howard Benson was producing my very first album, he was also producing Hailstorm, Theory of a Dead Man, and Daughtry.
Oh wow, okay.
All at the same time. And so there was always like this overlap. Like I'd be leaving the studio and Daughtry'd be coming in. I remember there was one song on my first album called Deeper, and it actually did require my voice to be deeper. And I needed a little bit more gravel in my voice. And there was a bottle of Jack Daniels on top of the refrigerator in the studio kitchen. And they were like, that's Chris Daughtry's. And I was like, I'm sure he won't mind. So I fixed myself a drink. And then I think he came in that day, and I was like, hey, I drank some of your whiskey. Is that cool? Luckily, it was cool. Luckily, once I got to hang out with Daughtry a few years later at the Idol, it was the Idol finale, like the grand series finale on Fox, because they brought it back a year and a half later on ABC. But he was like first to break out the JD. He was the first to smoke everybody out in the parking lot. Like just the greatest, nicest, kindest, like genuine, good-hearted, it's that Southern hospitality, but like, you want weed? You want whiskey? What do you want? Like, here it is. It's great.
Right.
You want to talk about comic books? Want to talk about all this stuff? It's great. It's like, oh, this is perfect.
That's pretty awesome.
Do you keep in contact with any of your Idol compatriots?
Yeah, I definitely do. Most from my season.
Okay.
Occasionally it'll be chatting with some other folks. Mainly from my season, Casey Abrams. My season, from season 10. Casey Abrams mostly. He was just visiting. We started a band like a month ago.
Oh, nice.
While he was here, we went roller skating at the roller skating rink. I rollerbladed. We were talking like, man, it'd be funny if we just started a band, and I forget what we called it. We called it Full Blown Stash. Full Blonde Stash. That's what it was. And not like stash like mustache, like stash like STASH.
Yeah.
It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. No. We were looking at a picture of my wife's dad. Because he's now like a crusty hobo. But when he was younger, he looked like Alan Jackson meets Hulk Hogan. Like Not
Nice.
the buffness, not the girth or anything, just like a toothpick. But he had like the fullness of a Hogan stash, and just like the cool guy vibes of Alan Jackson.
Oh yeah! Hulkster, you looking at my woman? You're looking at Elizabeth. You better get your eyes off her. No way, no how.
See now, I do a Macho Man impression. Yours is 30,000 times better than mine. Just
You know, I ought to break out. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna show you. I grabbed this. My buddy, which actually you probably met him, George. George from Hadbro.
yes.
I got this at Hadbro. This is the
Nice.
wear a piece of WWE history, the cream of the crop. It's the Macho Man. What is it? A robe. It's a robe. It's a Macho Man robe. There it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
So it's not identical to the pictures. They kind of,
Right. Yeah.
So cool.
you know how they do, but I thought it was pretty sweet. I wore it for Halloween. And I got it for $68.
That's not
It was
bad.
a steal. It was a steal.
That is awesome.
George takes care of me.
Shout outs to George and Hadbro.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
So
Oh, James wants you to put it on. Durbin, James Durbin.
Not today.
Not today.
not today. I was gonna ask. So speaking of like having to do like a gravelly voice or kind of like change your voice a little bit, because I remember that song deeper because I tried to listen to your whole discography, just so I can get like an idea of everything. And then
That's quite
one of
the
Undertaking.
the thing that came to mind to me was, have you ever thought about doing, especially now that you're doing like more metal and looking at like some of the people that you've listed as your influences, have you ever thought about doing like going outside of heavy metal and doing more like new metal or metalcore, and kind of either going more gravelly or maybe a little screamy, but to just kind of go outside the box and just experience making a song like that? Or have you ever done something like that?
I've tried it before, but even doing metal, even adding a little gravel to my voice, I love metal, but for all intents and purposes, I'm more of a classic rock
Right.
singer. I have a background in choir and theater, and I can be very theatrical. But it's I don't know. I've always kind of gelled more with just I don't want to say pure, because that's wrong.
No.
I wanted to be like the Steve Perry of metal. So like softer than Halford.
If I may interject, I won't interject too much, I promise. But I was watching. I
Please
watched.
do. I'm sorry, I kept stepping over you.
I watched a couple interviews with you on YouTube during the week, and in one of the interviews, you were saying how like you want your music, you write your music as if like sorry, I'm just getting nervous. Is that you want people to listen, to hear your music and feel like they're listening to a song written in 1984, and it like brings you back to that time.
Yes,
and it's true to that time.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that with this album, with the Beast Awakens.
Yeah.
That was like a real focus of that, of and not completely entirely, of course, because I have so many modern influences, and it's really hard to not hear those evident on, like for instance, Necromancer is there's a lot of I personally feel like My Chemical Romance is in there.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of him sprinkled throughout the album, and just more of those modern touches. But yeah, I wanted to, I don't know, I just had this idea that I wanted to have an album that kind of was more of like just a complete listening experience. A lot of the albums I've made in the past, with the exception of the one that precedes this one, Homeland, which is a more of a singer-songwriter Americana album, which is just, completely different. I love music, and so if I and I'm also high-functioning autistic, so I latch on to things and I get really obsessive about them, and then try and I just want to do those things. So like with my first album, right after Idol, I was like, I love My Chemical Romance and 30 Seconds to Mars and anthemic, and like I want to sing these big anthems and these like I'm the underdog, which is how I feel, and I want to like spread that goodness. And then I was trying to do a similar thing but adapting it for my second record, and then what ended up happening was the label didn't like any of those songs, and so they were like, what if we made you pop? And I was like, well, let's talk money first. So we talked money, and I was like, well, shit, I'll take the money. So I made a pop album, but then I explored that, and I wouldn't call it just pop. There's a couple songs that are just pop, but pop means popular. Pop means melodies, melodic structures, and repetition, and a song that gets stuck in your head. If you can't get a Slayer song stuck out of your head, it's a pop song. There's a reason. It is popular. Everything that's popular is pop. That's where pop derives from. If it's not popular, it's not mainstream, then what have you. But yeah, the label at the time that I was with, Wind Up Records, they made that call, and I played along, played the part. But yeah, there's definitely some good stuff on that, and the album after that was Riot on Sunset, my very first album I did independently. And then second independent album would be Homeland, and then this one, Durbin, the Beast Awakens, with all those Quiet Riot ones in between, and Maps to the Hollywood Scars, and other albums that I appeared on or wrote songs for, other bands, and all sorts of stuff. And I've got another band called Clean Break that'll be coming out. The very first little bits of that, I almost gave away the secrets, but as the Harry Potter community refers to, I almost got Wormtaily, but I
with that reference, okay.
Yes. But yeah, I've got that album coming out. Stuff for the new Clean Break album coming out on April 29th.
I'm definitely gonna be looking out for that, man, because I'm looking out for your music like a hawk at this point.
Sweet, thank you. That record rips.
We do have a question in the chat. It's a series of questions from James Navarro. He is wanting to know, how do you approach making music? Does it start with a song, an album idea, a beat, or a rhythm that grabs you? For me, I'm not answering your question, but in the stuff that I watched of you, the interviews that I watched, it sounds like this last album is like a storytelling album. It tells a story. The purpose of it is to tell a story in song form. So I guess I'm wondering if those are some answers that you can share with us.
Definitely. I don't always have one approach. I'm always very open to things. I'm always very open to all of my experiences. I try not to set an expectation for anything, because then I already have, a benchmark, and if it doesn't level up, then I'm left, disappointed. So it's all sorts of things. Sometimes it's another song. Sometimes it's the rhythm of another song that's like, I'd love to write a song that has that rhythm, then maybe it's a part of like, it's one little section of a song. There's a song by Miranda Lambert. I'm trying to remember the song. I can remember. What is it? I gotta remember it now. It's from the Weight of These Wings double album. It's on the first side, I believe. I can't remember the name. Anyway, but it's got like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It just has that kind of it's like a partial waltz, but I really love that rhythm. And I was thinking about that, and I was in the McCarran Airport in Las Vegas, and I was working on songs for my previous album, Homeland, the Americana album, and ended up writing a song to that same rhythm called Golden State. They're completely different songs. It has nothing to do with the melody or the cadence, even the actual tempo itself, but it wrote itself. I didn't have a guitar with me. I had no musical instrument on me. I'm sitting in the airport, staring out at the sunset in the desert, waiting for a red-eye flight to fly somewhere for Quiet Riot Show. And and that just happened. I mean, looking at this album, at the Beast Awakens, the title track, The Beast Awakens, I had an idea for a riff. I went and did a podcast called Tights and Fights, which is a wrestling podcast. And we were talking about Wrestle Kingdom. This was a few years ago. This was 2020. This was 2020. And January 2020, we were talking about Wrestle Kingdom, and it was the retirement match for Jushin Thunder Liger. Sorry, it's a good beer. Jushin Thunder Liger's retirement match, and I had done all this research about the guy and found that he had an alter ego called Kieran Liger. If you removed his mask, you wouldn't find a man beneath it. You would find the demon which the mask was containing. And I loved the idea of that. Mm-hmm. And so I found this article, and the title of the article was The Beast Awakens. And it was about him getting his mask removed. And that's what inspired me to write the song after the podcast. Because I had opened up, sometimes recording podcasts, I need to have my own Logic session open or my own Pro Tools session open. So record my audio just so it's clear if it's going to be recorded and then released several days later. But for this particular one, I had opened the session and it laid dormant. It laid open. My audio quality was good. My connection was great and didn't really need that. So after I finished the podcast, I've got this session right there. I've got a guitar right there, and I've got this song idea and all this stuff for this, Liger idea, and I literally wrote the song right then and there, and recorded a vocal, got it a really good sounding demo, and then sent it to a buddy of mine who put the solo on it, the very first take of the solo, and we didn't re-record the solo, so that's exactly the very first. Actually, all of the solos on the record were the demo versions of the solos, because I was in love with the performance of everything. I think maybe the only one might be, if there is one that isn't, it would be Battle Cry, possibly. But that was only from a production standpoint. But there's that. And then Riders on the Wind, I came up with the idea for that at the beach, watching a blanket flap in the wind and clouds, and thinking about spiritual, like a spirit gang that literally rides the wind. Of course, there's Judas Priest song, When I'm riding on the wind. And originally, the song was titled Riding on the Wind because I had some writer's block and didn't remember. I try not to think of if there's another song that's titled this, and I try to just write the song with whatever title is, comes to mind, and then look it up and figure it out. With Riding on the Wind, Riders on the Wind, that was a pretty close one that didn't lose any intention for the song. By the Horns was inspired by the battle between Gandalf the Grey and the Balrog.
You shall not pass.
Run, you fools! Fly, you fools! That's what it's. Into the Flames is about Samwise Gamgee's dedication and loyalty to Frodo. Because he literally follows him into the flames. And in the bridge, separate yourself from the darkness. We can leave the war behind us. You're undecided and can't take it, so I'll carry us both into the flames. It's verbatim. It's not stolen text, but it's inspired idea.
What's funny is I was going to ask you like how much influence Tolkien had on this, and you really just answered that. So,
I mean, Tolkien had 2 songs worth of influence on it. I'm a much bigger Harry Potter fan, so more of the idea of love conquers all. Love is the light that conquers evil. Or love is the light that conquers darkness, or don't dwell in what is the Dumbledore quote? Lest you dwell in darkness, if you should only turn on the light.
oh yeah,
and stuff like that. I'm just wanting to. I don't know. My wife and I had watched the Lord of the Rings series, the trilogy, just before the pandemic hit, and then after it hit, was like, well, shit. Now we've got nothing to do. Well, we got all the time to do it. So then we ended up showing it to our son, who was 10 at the time.
I've been trying to get Jackie to watch that for like ever.
Maybe I
gotta do it. You gotta do it. Just start off with the director's cuts, the extended versions. That's how you should do it. Not the 2.5-hour versions. Go for the 4-hour versions of each movie, and then you get like what's Sauron's mouth.
Yeah,
the voice of Sauron. I forget what that guy's name is.
We did have another question in the chat from Catherine. What is your most memorable musical experience you've ever had?
Oh man. It's really difficult to just pick one.
Can we get a sampler maybe?
I mean, just reading that there's so many, but probably I don't even know if there's a probably. I don't know. I kind of look at it like tattoos. People ask me, how many tattoos do you have? And I say 1. I have 1 tattoo, and it's expanding. And I have 1 music memory. They're all one thing. There's just it would be a disservice to the fans. It would be a disservice to the voters, the producers of anything to just name 1 and that be the end all be all. But in more recent history, even, oh boy, I don't even know. I really enjoyed playing Heavy Montreal, which is a music festival in Montreal, Quebec. I played that with Quiet Riot back in 2019. And it was just, you're on stage at a metal festival and you're singing a song that everybody knows, and everybody knows Come On Feel the Noise. It doesn't matter if it's Quiet Riot made it more popular in the US. It was originally a Slade song from the glam rock band in the UK in the 70s, as was Mama We're All Crazy Now. But just when you hit Come On Feel the Noise followed by Metal Health, Bang Your Head at a metal festival, doesn't matter who's on stage. I mean, at the time, Frankie Benali was already sick and home, and it was me on vocals, Chuck Wright on bass, Alex Grossi on guitar, and Johnny Kelly on drums. Not a single original member on stage, but no one gave a flying F. It just, maybe they did, but it didn't matter. It was so loud. No, you know what? I remember. This is even better than Heavy Montreal. We were in like Nova Scotia or something. It took so long to get there. There was so many hiccups getting home and little delays and layovers and BS. But we were in the middle of nowhere in some quaint fishing village, and they happened to have this music festival. It was like Leif Erikson Day or something. And like, we were the only like English singing band there. Everyone's speaking French or I don't know what Leif Erikson is, Swedish. It was like a mixture of French and Swedish or Finnish or Gaelic. I don't know, but
some language.
Sanskrit. I don't know.
Sanskrit. Sanskrit sounds about right. That sounds correct.
But once we got in this giant tent that was holding all these people, And this was me, because when Frankie was sick, we had Johnny Kelly couldn't make all the shows. He's the drummer now in Quiet Riot, but we also had Mike Dupke, and Dupke was also great. It was nice to have a hardcore Harry Potter fanatic in the band, because before it was just me. Alex Grossi hasn't even seen Star Wars, and that's just a travesty.
That
And
is
he would. But it was nice, to be sitting around barefoot in my Deathly Hallows shirt, reading Order of the Phoenix, and have one person be like, "What chapter are you on?" And that was Mike Dupke for me. But yeah, we played this random festival in the middle of nowhere, in the Upper East of nowhere, and just the reception that we got, the level of togetherness that we had on stage, I will never forget that. And we stopped, and I put the microphone out at the audience, and they just would not stop cheering. So much so that I had time to grab my phone and film them also. And it's just things like that is just like, that's not necessarily the reason why you do it, is for adoration and applause and acceptance. You do it for the music first and foremost, but that's when the music is clicking and the audience gets it, that is the real magic. Because there's getting on stage, and like I did my homecoming from American Idol in Santa Cruz, and that's the largest gathering of people in the history of our city. And it was over 30,000 people congregated on the beach just to see me. And that's a level of crazy. And if that doesn't inflate your ego somewhat, then I don't know what will. It certainly did. And it took a lot to bring me back down to earth after that. But, something like that happening is like, that's a product of having been on TV. I'm going to a random fishing village in the middle of nowhere where they don't have American Idol. Maybe they do, but probably not. But, and I'm with Quiet Riot, and there's not a single original member on stage. And we just played with a bunch of, Swedish, French mixed bands, and delivered. And, we're being applauded for the show that we put on. That's definitely, I think that's it. It's long-winded. I'm long-winded.
Oh no, I love stories like that. I can listen to stuff like that all day. I have my own versions, but I love it when other people share their stories like that. And it's just nice to know that those things, those moments happen. I one time went with a friend invited me to a concert. I couldn't even tell you what the band's name was, but they at the Fillmore in San Francisco, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And freaking Steph Curry was there. Blackberry Smoke.
Nice.
It wasn't Blackberry Smoke.
Oh,
Blackberry Smoke is my band. I would remember that, but it was a band. It was a band I didn't know, but we were there, and like randomly Aisha and Steph Curry were there. It was like I randomly showed up to a concert, the same concert that Steph Curry and Aisha Curry showed up to. So but yeah, I love listening to people's story about stuff like that.
Because it's more personal when you hear stories like that, and it just makes
well, and like you were saying about like people being like the togetherness that people felt, and like the sort of maybe not necessarily camaraderie, but like the feeling that comes along with that. It's just nice to know that you have togetherness and you guys can share a moment together, and everybody kind of walks away having a good time. Everybody does.
Amen. Yeah, I'd say it's not camaraderie, but community.
Community, yes.
Like you don't need to know the person that you're standing next to, but you feel the same love that person feels, if for only sure. For a moment. That's there's no truer definition of humans being than that. Mm-hmm. I think it's you feel this moment of supreme presence, and that's Valhalla. That's it.
100%. I agree with that.
So with new album Beast Awakens, do you foresee yourself doing more concept albums?
I've been working on it. After every album, I hit a stride of like, oh shit, I'm not writing any songs for a while. I'm so like, especially after this one. This one was a big undertaking, and I was working on a like a companion book, a small companion book, but just kind of like talking about all of my feelings and inspirations and everything for this album. And then my cat knocked my computer off the desk, and the hard drive got completely wiped. I can pay like $2,500 to try and get it fixed, but I just kind of look at it as like, oh shit, that's gone. So that was a little disheartening and I don't know, not unmotivating. Mm-hmm. But I've been working on. I want to figure out. I like progressing. I like to not do the same exact thing.
Right. Again,
whether that's to my detriment as an artist or anything, but it's what you do that makes you happy. That shines through.
Well, yeah,
if you're unhappy doing something, right? If you're unhappy doing something and it's music, then it can definitely show in the product. But I've had an idea for it. I want to go kind of like a spoiler alert. I want to go more like a kind of a sci-fi space theme with this one, rather than just a mountainous land. As this one feels like the mountains to me. But the view outside my windows where we live is all mountains. So that's what inspired The Sacred Mountain. That's what inspired Battle Cry and Rise to Valhalla and parts of Evil Eye and The Kings Before You, sitting high atop the mountain over all there is to see. Dark Side of a Rainbow, Touch the Earth Beside Me. Like, that's all things I witnessed and got stoned and had dreams about. But yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I keep compiling music and ideas, my notes, and voice memos in my phone. There's a shit ton of different ideas. But then sometimes I'll listen to them and I'll be like, these are garbage. Other times I'll listen to them and be like, oh god, I gotta get to a computer fast and record this and flesh it out.
I do melodies and stuff on my phone all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's great. It's great to have that tool, but it's also like it's difficult because sometimes the best way for me to get it and to be productive is to just figure it out in studio, which is here, my amps and my guitar and my Turbo Man doll. And
yes, that's right. You played Turbo Man.
I am. Segue. I'm the voice of the Funko Turbo Man. It's Turbo Time. You already said that, asshole. You can always count on me. Beware of evildoers. Good work, Booster. And I think that's all he says. And he lights up for some reason.
Because it's freaking Turbo Man.
Yeah.
He's got lights in his legs. Why do his legs light up?
I need the last Turbo Man.
What do I need a doll for? I got the real Turbo Man at home.
I need Turbo Man. Do it now.
James is asking, how did you end up being the voice of Turbo Man?
I do voiceover work, and my main contract, it's an independent contract, but my main work, voiceovers, has been with Disney and Disney Interactive products. And those have been I was actually just compiling my recently, not literally today, but my what would this be? A resume, basically, my voiceover resume. And so I've done Disney Interactive, and it's an Amazon Alexa skill. I've been a part of the Star Wars Choose Your Destiny series.
Oh, nice.
I've done Leppy, Jaspara, Shockball, Armed Defender. I'm reading from the list here. Security officers, Skakuan administrators, Grinask, who's Sandberg, or Sandberg, who's a Grinask. Tiny Space Voice. That's I'm most known for the Tiny Space. No, a Klaatuinian. I've been a number of different clone troopers: Flash, Bly, Trooper, Lucky, Soliston Slave, Hunched Rhodian, Nephrin Alien, Nodo's Crony, Admiral Rhodes of the Galactic Empire, Imperial Pilot, Merc Droid, plenty of Stormtroopers, which is, you basically just talk like this, and then they just put the little, what are you doing? Get back from there. A bounty hunter named Weequay, Cloud City security officer, Gwellis, Varric officer, lieutenant, communication voices. I got to, though I've yet to hear it, I got to do another Alexa skill, which is called Star Wars C-3PO Translates, and that one I got to do a couple stormtroopers and an Imperial officer that are interacting with Anthony Daniels. I recorded my stuff remote, as did he, so I haven't heard the bits and pieces where we're performing together just yet, but it's there. It's out there if you've got the thing to do it. It's unfortunately, it's like, there's these things with these Disney interactive experiences that are like, you're not going to be able to find them if you're a child. If you're a parent who pays for Amazon's Alexa for Kids program, Free Time Unlimited, and you know about it, and you can find it, and you do the whole thing, then you can find it. But it's unfortunately, like, I was just talking to my buddy about it, who's kind of produced all these, and I was like, man, if these were animated, man, I'd be you wouldn't be able to get me off of the convention circuit.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be right there with C. Andrew Nelson. Just be like, hey, buddy.
And Drew loves it. Drew loves doing the whole thing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I had never been to one. The Capital Collecticon Comic Con was my very first con, and I've been to wrestling conventions before, but they're different. You wait around to let the honky tonk man be an asshole to you.
I've met honky tonk. He was actually kind of cool to me when I met him. But
okay.
I think a lot of it also was
Wayne on a good day.
Well, like we understood kind of like why he's so pissed off at Vince.
Right.
And why he has like this really bad relationship with them.
Mm-hmm. I heard the great story. It was the Good Brothers talking about it. They were at WrestleMania after party. You might have heard the story, but they walk in, they go over to him and they're like, Wayne, isn't this great, man? They got a sushi tower and a chocolate fountain. And yeah, and he was like, it's coming out of your paycheck, you mark. Just sitting there with his beard, just all grumpy and crotchety.
And that 100% sounds like Wayne. So I mean, like,
yeah. But yeah, Comic-Con, Collecticon, Capitola thing was my very first convention, and just the, not even the stuff that I got, which I kept myself limited on what I purchased. One of my favorite voiceovers that I did, and my buddy, my voiceover producer, his favorite voice I did was, for one of them was for a Leppy. And I did the very first, according to, as far as Lucasfilm goes, there hasn't been another recorded voice for a Leppy yet. And I did the very first one, and that is available to, if you can find it, to be heard on Star Wars Choose Your Destiny, Obi-Wan and Anakin Adventure. And that goes a little something like this.
Oh, you call that the play? You don't even know the rules to the shot ball. You call yourself a referee, huh? I'll see about that. Oh, that freak? Yeah, he went that way toward the Ultra Sport.
So that's my Leppy, and this is
so
Jackson.
Oh,
Jackson appeared. I believe he first appeared in the comic book that followed Star Wars, aka A New Hope. He was a bounty hunter with. He appeared in the comic. I think he appeared alongside Han Solo, but I don't know if he appeared instead of Chewbacca. I think there was something like that. He didn't appear, but Jackson the Leppy did. So it's pretty cool to provide a voice for him.
That's I'm in. I won't say I'm in complete awe, but I mean I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with like the amount of work that you've done, but also just like the variation of work that you've done.
Yeah, definitely. It's I'm blessed. I am blessed for the opportunities that I've found myself in and created. Somewhere in time, created a moment for an opportunity to happen. Like I gotta see if I can pull this up. I think this is when I created it. The opportunity. My mom sent me some pictures the other day, and here is me when I was a boy. Probably 9 with, if it'll work, maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Let's see it. No, you can't really see it. It's me and let me my screen brighten this down. Maybe it'll work then. No. Okay. Anyway, it's me and Jeremy Locke and Kenny Baker, aka R2D2 and Boba Fett, the original. So. Yeah, I guess maybe I planted it then, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to think. Yeah, it's really something. There's so many different things to be creative in. There's so many different creative outlets if you're a creative person, and it's with voiceover work. There's a lot of nepotism. There is. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely who you know. And for me, in this case, one of my good buddies happens to be a head over at Disney Interactive, and so one day we were catching up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing some freelance voiceover work right now." And he's like, "I had no idea you did voiceovers, dude. I've got all these voiceover things always coming across my desk. So send me your demo reel, and I can send you some see if you're not garbage or crap. If you're good, I can send you some auditions." So that's how it happened. But I've done so many auditions, and you only get a handful of the things you audition. So it's about keep trying, keep attempting, keep putting yourself out there. And I think of what's his name, Rambo. I can't remember his name right now. Stallone. Yeah, I think of Stallone, and remember that he auditioned, for 1,000 different roles and never got one. And then he happens to write his own story, and that's the thing that that got him there. So
because originally they didn't want him; they just wanted the story, and he was like, "Well, you don't get the story unless you have me." So
right. Genius. Look where that got him. So if you work on your craft and you find those loopholes, or you just find the person that believes in it the most, that's got the connections, then you're off to the races. And there's no right way, there's no correct way to be quote unquote successful. You can find success in anything. Some people find success if they get 200 followers on their Instagram page, then they feel accomplishment, they feel success. Some people find it if they sell 10 CDs at a show, they find success. I count my blessings, but I don't compare. I do my best not to compare. It is very difficult in this day and age, with so many people showing their best and only showing their best, which is why sometimes I just show random bullshit on my socials, because I'm like, right, to me this is cool, this is great, to me this is an achievement, this is a win. It's not always look where I went, look what I earned, look what right. Look at this award. I've never won an award for anything. So it's just celebrate your own accomplishments as they come. Don't compare them to the ones before, or even the ones that could be coming next, because everything is great on its own and doesn't need to be measured up, you know?
Well, and having been a touring musician myself, like it's always to go, I'm grateful for the life I've been given.
Yeah.
To just say, oh, well, look at this, to show the highlight reel, of everything that you've done, yeah, that's great and all, but just even showing the being grateful for, the little things that you've been given that.
Absolutely.
That 5 people that you played a show to in Topeka,
Right, they were a great audience.
Yeah.
they bought more merch than the show that was more heavily attended. And they got first dibs, and they got everything autographed, and they got all the pictures and the conversation, and it was basically a paid rehearsal and a meet and greet all in one. But I'm definitely cognizant of that, and that I don't know when the next big thing is going to be, and so why not celebrate all of the successes along the way. I made it through another day. I'm like this. There's a song I keep hearing it because of something else I'm doing. It's a song by Sia, and it's David Guetta featuring Sia. It's and it starts off, "You made it through another day. You did it. Let's celebrate." So it's just like, whatever you're gonna find, if you're open to receiving those signs, and those those little notes of, I don't know, being appreciative and loving life, then you'll definitely receive them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. We are pushing up at 7 o'clock right now. I don't know if you've got somewhere else you want to be. You're more than welcome to stay on if you want. But because I'm not sure what you got to do.
I gotta do bedtime. I got 3 kids, and I as often as possible, if I'm not traveling somewhere for a concert, I'm always a part of it. So it's something that is very important to me, and I refuse to miss. Right. So I am having fun, and if it were earlier, I'd definitely stay on. But thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Anytime you want to come on again, just let us know, and we can get you back on, dude. This is a fun conversation. I mean, we didn't even get through everything we wanted to talk about. So I mean, like, if you're willing to come on again, we would love to have you again, man.
Thank you. Absolutely.
So one last question before we do our last pluggables here, and it's from James Navarro in the chat. I know one of your, I know what Hunter nerds out on, but what do your kids nerd out on?
Well, my kids nerd out on what I nerd out on, basically, overall, for the most part. We have a Harry Potter room in our house. I have a Harry Potter room in our house. It's a cupboard under the stairs. It's on the correct side, according to the movie.
People appreciate this. I have a Eero router system in my house, and you get to name each router. One of my routers is the room of requirement.
Nice. That's what I call my studio usually.
Yeah.
Because it provides whatever I need it to be providing. I'm just a nerd, unapologetically. I'm wearing a Hogwarts t-shirt today. I've got a Pokemon Yellow tattoo. I have a Spider-Man on my elbow. I've got a Mother Mary tattoo with a Rey Mysterio mask that says Lady Guadalupe. I'm the voice of a Turbo Man doll. I've got the freaking Hasbro, what is it, the Black Series Boba Fett helmet up here. I've got a Barkin' Dan from the Nodal Tones Max Rebo's band up here that I got at the Collecticon. I've got a... Are you
serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Got a Barkin' Dan here. Let me see if I can pull it down without wrecking any Legos. I have a lot of Legos. I got a Barkin' Dan.
Oh, that is so
nice,
dude.
And I got a Cornelius too. So I love all sorts of things.
Oh my god, man!
I've got this little freaking retro die-cast Luke Skywalker. I've got all sorts of little trinkets and things that I love. I love pro wrestling. I've got.
Dude, you are totally one of us, man. Like one.
I've got Thor's hammer right next to Din and the kid.
Din and the kid. And again, I hate to keep you longer because I know you got
the kid kennel.
That's awesome. I know you got to put everything away. Have you seen the Lego Thor's hammer that just came out?
I have. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like how you can open up the little chamber at the top and put the little extra little things. They got the cube and they've got the glove, and I know I'm butchering all these names. It's late, but yeah.
I'm planning on building that on the show at some point. I've got this too.
Oh, nice. Is that that's great.
It is flipping everybody off right now, but I mean, still. Anyways, man. Again, I don't want to keep you too long. Any pluggables, man? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. Follow this asshole on all social media platforms. Instagram and what's the other one? I don't TikTok very often. When I do, it's at James Durbin Official.
By the way,
Instagram. Huh?
I tagged you in a TikTok the other day. There's a guy who did like a drum riff, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if James can like write something to that."
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
sweet.
So check the TikTok, dude.
Right on. James Durbin Official on most things. The other things are Facebook and Twitter, and those are at Durbin Rock. So it's see it on the screen right here. It's DURBIN. DURBIN. Sometimes people write AN, and you won't find me. I don't know what you'll find. It's like that shitty senator. It's the same spelling. Unfortunately, or Patton Oswalt plays a Principal Durbin on AP Bio, but I've only seen one episode of that. Durbin, the Beast Awakens. You can get these signed on my website, jamesdurbinofficial.com. You can find them there. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on all the streaming platforms. All of them. All of the streaming. Well, maybe. Most of my music is on all of the streaming platforms. So you'll find this one in particular. You will not find under James Durbin. That's just
Durbin, right?
That's the thing with this one. This one is just Durbin. Yeah. So thank you.
Real quick, as a former musician myself, which one gets you paid the most?
That would be Riot on Sunset and Homeland. Those ones would get me paid the most.
All right, so guys, support those ones.
Those ones come directly here. Those ones, and my Christmas EP that I did. Actually, no, that one will. Well, actually, yes, because those are public domain songs. So yeah,
there you go. Nerds.
Riot on Sunset, Homeland, A Thrill of Hope, and
Nerds. That's where you're gonna go support them. Go do it now.
There it is. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man. We will see you. We will see you some other time here, and I would love to have you on again. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving us your time, and dude, keep rocking on, man.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Peace, love, heavy metal.
Oh wait, wrong side. All right. Cool. Thanks, Jack.
Okay.
That was awesome. I had a lot of fun there. I don't know about you. I don't know.
I'm always down to listen to people's stories.
He had a lot of good ones.
Yeah. That's about all I'm good for.
I'm excited to have more of him on the show.
Yeah.
Because he's totally one of us. He totally is like the exact demographic that we have for this show. But anyways.
And James said something earlier about love all the amps in the background.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go, yeah, I didn't want to nerd out too much on
gear. Should have nerded out on all his gear. But speaking of nerding and getting nerdy, we got a bracket to finish or attempt to finish.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Squint's gonna hang around for it?
Yeah, Squint, you hanging around for this one right here? All right.
Oh, good.
Oh, goody.
Oh, goody, goody gumdrops.
Dork.
I mean that.
She's not being sarcastic
at all.
No.
It's like me where I have to tell people that I'm being sarcastic. Just like, yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic. Just don't take offense to what I just said.
All right. So quickly switching back to the bracket.
You want to do a quick recap before James murders murders a puppy?
Yes. I just have to check and see. Somebody left me a voicemail. I'm not going to listen to it. Oh.
You're gonna listen to it live on air?
No, yeah, it's from Sutter. They want me to take a survey on something. Survey says
No.
Nope.
okay. I'm just going back and looking for where we left off so we could do a recap on the recap.
So while she's doing that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had to take apart the entire tail of the car.
Yeah.
I put half of the base of the tail upside down.
Oh, no.
But the thing is that it's one of those things where it was so deeply embedded with like the whole body of the car. I had to take apart half of the car just to get to that piece.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm still about to finish this bag and start another one here. I'll at least get 2 bags done today.
Let me take a sip of my.
Is it an alcoholic beverage?
No, just my regular beverage.
Oh, okay.
My flamingo cup. Okay, so bracket. We are doing favorite Justice League villains.
Oh.
No, that's the one I wanted.
That's the right one. That's the right one.
Don't tell me what to do.
I do what I want.
I do what I want. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a recap of favorite Justice League villains. Last week we had Deathstroke against Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd.
Deathstroke won that one out.
Gorilla Grody.
Yes, and then we had Johnny Quick versus the Joker. I think we all know the Joker won that one. Yep. Then we had Prometheus against General Zod. Nobody knew who Prometheus is or was. Do you, Squint? I don't think nobody did, but nobody that was actively participating knew who it was.
Prometheus and Bob. Sorry, that is a very obscure reference. If anyone here knows that reference, I applaud you. I just said Prometheus and Bob. And it's like, if you know Prometheus and Bob, that means you watched a lot of cartoons.
Bob's dead.
Not that Bob.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Prometheus. So there was a cartoon, and it's funny. It might actually be on that cartoon thing that we have. Cartoon bracket. But there was a cartoon in the late 90s, early 2000s called Kablam.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a claymation like cartoon on the side of that called Prometheus and Bob. And Prometheus was like a space alien that didn't talk. And he was trying to educate a caveman named Bob.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and it was... Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't understand that reference, she's talking about her dad.
Yes.
But
hold on.
What happened? Did you mess up?
For the download.
Aaron Watson is in the building.
Yeah! What up, Aaron Watson?
Yes. So, where were we at? Oh, yeah. So Aaron Watson is in the building. He talked me into watching Superman 2, which I watched it like fully, like sat down, watched it, didn't play on my phone, nothing. And it was like a good movie. And I was talking to somebody about how I had watched it and how I'd enjoyed it. And they told me, they said, yeah, that's the reason why I don't like DC movies. They're too slow. And I was like, that's funny, because that's actually why I liked it, is that it wasn't so like action packed. And I enjoyed the stories and the Niagara Falls and everything with that. But the one thing that had me like rolling was the product placement during the during the fight scene. It was like a big old Marlboro van and like buckets of KFC chicken.
You threw them into a big Coca-Cola.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola. And it was like such product. Like I've never seen a Marlboro van that big, even back in the 90s. I don't know if they had them back then.
Yeah, like the late 80s. That's all movies were just giant product placements.
It was just I was rolling. It was so funny to me,
especially like big blockbuster movies like that.
Yes. And then we all bowed to Zod and
Son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
So yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And then Okay, so we did. Okay, so Joker against Prometheus, and then I said, Squints, did you know who Prometheus was in
No.
this Justice League bracket? When James looked it up, it sounded like Prometheus is kind of like a catch-all name of different villains in different universes.
Well, it's weird. Comic book villains tend to be there tends to be multiple versions of characters,
Okay.
and like multiple people have been those characters.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of a normal thing with most villains, is that
Yeah.
multiple people, unless they're like huge mainstay villains, you know. So like there's only one Lex Luthor, right? Because you're not gonna
Mhm.
have somebody who's the second Lex Luthor, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, like the biggest example I can give right here, and this is a character that you probably won't know. I know you won't know. Is Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher's been like 3 different people. You know,
Okay.
Firestarter has been like 3 or 4 different people.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So
So then going back to the recap. So Joker against Prometheus. Joker won that one. Then we have General Zod, son of Jor-El. No.
Mhm.
Okay.
kneel before Zod.
Against Bane, and General Zod did win that one.
I mean, he is a Kryptonian. So
Then we have Granny Goodness versus Despero. Granny Goodness got that one.
Mhm.
Deadshot versus Lobo. Deadshot won that one.
I don't know how Deadshot beat Lobo, but that's fine.
And then we have Doomsday versus Captain Cold. Doomsday won that one.
Obviously.
Then we have Darkseid versus Brainiac. Oh wait, hold on. What did I do? Just kidding. I messed
Is that the next one?
No, one of them has like a really weird text and I can't always see it. So it was Captain Cold versus Darkseid. Darkseid won.
Oh yeah.
And then it was Brainiac versus Vandal Savage.
I remember that one was a huge debate.
Yes. And I can actually remember the difference between the two. So that's good. So and then also Philippe gave me 2, what was it, General Zod, and then was it Lobo books?
No, I gave you a Lobo book, Lobo versus Deathstroke,
Uh-huh.
and then I gave you a Dave Mazzucchelli's Joker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna read those when I'm done with my current book. And then so Brainiac versus Vandal Savage. Brainiac won that one. So that's the recap. That's where we're at with things right now. So should we finish this side of the bracket or should we go to the other side of the bracket?
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this side.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. I have to do this with good old fashioned pen and paper.
I can keep an eye on the chat for you, Jackie.
Okay.
Sweet.
So first up we have Deathstroke versus Joker.
Ooh,
That's gonna be a toughie.
it is. Skill wise, Deathstroke has everything on the Joker, but the Joker is very cunning. The Joker is very smart. He knows how to outsmart people who are stronger and more maneuverable than he is. But Deathstroke is like the ultimate assassin. So it's kind of like that's where it becomes a difficult fight.
Hey Jessica, your sister's here.
Oh, what's up, Jess? Yeah, Deathstroke again, he's going to be the smarter of the two, or he's going to be the more tactical of the two, whereas Joker's going to be the smarter of the two. I think ultimately I'm probably going to side, and this is going to be unpopular, but I think I'm going to go with the Joker. And it's because I think that the Joker would find a way to outsmart Deathstroke.
How do you think he would outsmart him?
Because that's what the Joker does. That's kind of like
that's his thing.
His thing. Like he outsmarts Batman on a regular basis. The other thing is, I think that Deathstroke is more willing to go like to more violent places than Batman would normally be able to go to.
Mm-hmm.
but I think the Joker is like.
Wait, hold on. I have a question. How does James know that we call your sister that you call your sister Monkey? Because James just said, "Yay, Monkey's here."
Jessica came in on the show a while back and explained the story of why I called her Monkey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I interrupted you.
She's like, how does he know this?
What's your vote, Squints?
I'm going Joker as well.
And Philippe, your final answer is Joker.
I think I'm going Joker. That's a really hard fight for me because they're both characters that I really like. Like they're characters I gravitate towards a lot when it comes to villains in DC. But ultimately, I think the Joker would have the upper hand in the fight, even though physically Deathstroke is a far superior character. The Joker would be able to think on a different level than basically he would convince Deathstroke to kill himself. That's how sadistic and crazy and smart the Joker is.
Okay, so far we only have one for Deathstroke, and it's Tyler. Oh, Jordan's in the house too.
Yeah,
got the whole family up in here.
Are you guys gonna tell Mom to come in on the show too?
Oh God, no! Don't get Sandrita in here.
I know, right? My mom would not understand what's happening. Jessica, by the way, my suit came in today, so fun times. I was gonna text you after the show.
We're not talking about suits. We're talking about villains.
No, I'm just letting her know since she's there, and I don't have to call her to tell
her. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Joker won that one. I don't see any other Deathstrokes. I guess we're gonna have to.
Yeah. It's all
unless Aaron voted for him and I didn't catch it.
I think Aaron would vote Joker too.
Deathstroke would win. Oh, so Aaron is saying, much like Batman, if Joker has time to prep, Joker wins all day. But if Joker doesn't see it coming, Deathstroke would win. Flip a coin.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I was going. It's just like with Batman. The longer the fight goes on, the more the Joker has the upper hand.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hearing none, seeing none. Joker won that round. Next up, we have General Zod versus Granny Goodness. Well, I know what my vote's for.
Oh, God, that's also a really good fight. I know you're going to go General Zod because now that you've seen General Zod in action.
You have to bow to
kneel before Zod!
Yeah, you have to kneel before Zod. Okay? You have to. What's Granny Goodness going to make me do?
Granny Goodness would also make you kneel before her.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Zod is more like, he's sadistic and he's waking up in a world and doesn't know what the hell is happening and just is reactionary. Whereas Granny Goodness, she's already planned how she's going to just genocide the entire human race.
Jordan is actually voting Granny Goodness.
That's what I'm saying. Granny Goodness, you can't undercut.
That's because Jordan is goodness. That's why.
Jordan is the definition of goodness.
He is the definition of goodness. Your sister may or may not agree.
My sister's probably laughing. She's probably going to put a laughing emoji in
there. What's your pick, Squints?
I'm going Zod.
Any particular reason for Zod over Granny Goodness?
I mean, it's like Phil was saying, it's another hard one. But I think
that's what your gut is saying.
Gut is saying, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think I'm going General Zod as well.
Okay. Right now we have 4 General Zod and 2 Granny Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler is the rebel of the show today. He's the rebel.
Like I said, take nothing away from Granny Goodness. Granny Goodness is a fearsome, just sadistic character. Mm-hmm. But I think that she has been beaten by Kryptonians before, specifically Kal-El. But I mean, I think that in the end, she loses to Kryptonians, and the biggest difference between Zod and Kal-El is Zod doesn't have the same moral quandaries that Zod doesn't have the same moral quandaries that Kal-El has.
Mhm.
You know, Zod is going to be more of a I don't care and I'm going to kill everyone that gets in my way, whereas Kal is going to like think things out and he's going to look for like the best situation for everyone.
James is saying Zod bows to no one.
So I think ultimately, if it's a fight between Zod and Granny Goodness, I think Zod wins that fight.
Sorry, my sister sent me a text message.
Is she watching the show?
She was, yeah. She caught something about me about talking about Bob, and she said she missed it and she tried to rewind it and she can't rewind it. So it was a distasteful joke, anyways.
It really was. If you're listening, which sister was it, Jen?
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
We
Aaron.
got another Aaron. We need the triple Aaron threat.
But she spells her name differently.
Yes, because of obvious reasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Aaron. If you're still listening, it was a very distasteful joke about your dad.
Well, it was just a general statement. It was just facts.
But it's also kind of generally the type of statements that pop up about your dad.
She doesn't care.
No, and that's what I was gonna say. She's probably not upset about it that much because it is kind of like a general statement that pops up about your guys' dad. So
just the name. It was because the name came up. Okay. So yeah, Jordan, we were saying triple threat with Aaron's because my sister's name is Aaron. And then there's two guest hosts on the show who are also named Aaron. So I was saying if we have a plethora of Aarons on this show.
Oh yeah, that's
we have them in surplus.
We have them in surplus.
So I'm gonna go ahead and call that as
a multi-Aaron show.
A multi-Aaron show. Gonna go ahead and call that hearing none, seeing none. General Zod, we must bow.
Kneel before Zod.
That's
why I have to get off mic because I'm going to destroy eardrums if I.
Oh my god! And Jordan's middle name is Aaron.
God. And so many Aarons.
There's an Andre. I'm gonna not say this correctly. Ivy.
Andre Ivy. Oh snap! It's Dre. What up, Dre? This is the Dre that I play Destiny with.
Oh, I did not know you played with the Dre.
The Dre that Junior is always talking smack about.
Oh, Junior's not the nicest person in the world. Oh, now Jordan's saying his middle name is not Aaron.
He just did that to mess with you, Jack.
Oh, okay. Okay, so moving right along with the next verses in the bracket is we have Deadshot versus Doomsday.
Doomsday all day.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't written it down yet.
Deadshot
again, versus Doomsday.
Again, Deadshot is a great character. It's freaking Doomsday. Doomsday is literally he killed Superman. There's no fighting that thing. You know, like I mentioned before, like there's no true way to defeat him. You can't actually really beat Doomsday. You can incapacitate him and knock him out for a little while.
Yeah.
But you can't really kill Doomsday. So it's almost like Deadshot is just a dude who's a really good, like, you know, he shoots guns really well. He's not going to beat the ultimate like destruction weapon.
Okay, Doomsday broke the internet. I'm just gonna go ahead and call that one. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Everybody voted Doomsday.
Everybody did. Everybody.
Yeah. There's no way that anyone, or at least there's no way that any human villain is gonna beat Doomsday.
Deadshot doesn't even have a shot. It's a dead shot.
Deadshot slapped the shit out of Chris Rock last night. So
whoa,
Will Smith played Deadshot.
Oh, that's right. I was like, wait, where'd that come from? And then I remember.
Yeah, he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
Well, there we go. So Doomsday took the cake and the pie and the ice cream, and it went home.
Without putting any actual opinions on this, when Jackie messaged me that the whole situation with Chris Rock and everything, and Will Smith.
Mhm.
I was like, holy shit! He slapped the
Yeah.
out of Chris Rock's mouth, and if Chris Rock had COVID, he slapped the taste back into his mouth.
Wah, wah.
Yes, good use of.
I don't know if anybody in the chat has noticed, but we did rearrange the Distance Nerding Studios.
The Taco Cave.
The Taco Cave, we did rearrange it.
Wait,
it's a little bit more
is
functional.
Aaron hiding under the desk?
You know what's funny is he has more places to hide now.
Definitely.
There are more places for Thick to hide in this studio than there were before.
Okay, so next up we have Darkseid versus Captain Cold.
Darkseid. Again, Captain Cold, good character. Generally kind of, I mean, he's kind of a quirky, weird character, but
Yeah.
generally a good character. But going up against someone like Darkseid.
Okay.
Like, Darkseid is the ultimate. Him and Doomsday, they're like the ultimate villains. The comparison that I can make for you, Jackie, where you can make the most sense aside from what you saw of him in the movie, he is the DC equivalent to Thanos.
Yeah. What Darkseid's from which movie again? Can you I think I know. I just want to make sure.
He was in Justice League.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
He actually Thanos was actually a remake of Darkseid.
Yeah, Jordan's saying he's basically Thanos but better.
Yeah, I would say he is better than Thanos.
Yeah,
because like in the Marvel comics, Thanos was kind of like he was like a big like event level character, but he's not like a end all be all character. Like him with the gauntlet, he was. But Darkseid can end universes on his own. He's that powerful.
Yeah.
So it's like,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess Captain Cold is going to be left out in the cold.
Hey-o! Can you hit the laugh button?
Oh, that doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, it does. Makes it 10 times better. There you go. It makes me feel better about the joke, okay?
Okay.
And you're the one that made it.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call Darkseid on that one. Next up we have wait. Hold on, I think I screwed something up.
Oh no.
I don't know why this is so difficult for me.
Oh no.
Oh no, you know what?
What'd you do?
I did the wrong verses.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sorry. That was my bad. We didn't. I think it's still going to be the same outcome, but sorry, I messed up. I messed up on that. It's supposed to be Darkseid versus Brainiac.
Oh, now see, that's a more.
We already did that versus and Darkseid won, and it's supposed to go up against Brainiac. So sorry.
So we didn't really miss anything.
No, I just did the wrong verses. Sorry, sorry guys. Okay. So let's see. We are starting at. Tyler, if you could put in your vote again, that way I know which one you want to pick between Darkseid and Brainiac. Then we can start from there. Sorry, guys. I totally messed up that one.
So if that's the fight we're doing now, that's a much more difficult fight because Brainiac is kind of like that same level of character.
Yeah.
Who do I go on this one? I mean, like my intuition is always to go with Darkseid. I think Darkseid is just he's an interesting character, but he's also like, I mean, his whole thing is he's looking for the anti-life equation, and it's basically this almost like equation that is meant to like if you get a hold of the anti-life equation, you can control any being, and when he gets the anti-life equation, he can actually mind control people like Superman.
Yeah.
And it just makes it like he can turn anyone into his minion and he can just destroy anything. So like I like to have a character that powerful with the anti-life equation, it makes him almost unstoppable. But then you have a character like Brainiac who continuously acquires power and learns about different races and learns about different weaknesses and can synthesize weaknesses.
Mhm.
Like he can synthesize kryptonite to neutralize Superman. And he understands that kind of stuff. Like, you know, he understands that every race has a weakness. Every genetic race has its weaknesses, and he figures those things out.
Jordan wants to know, how long does Brainiac have time to learn? LOL.
And that's a fair point, because like any Omega level character, the more they have time to prepare, the more, you know, devastating they are.
Is this going to be a Padme situation?
No, because I wouldn't get mad either way with either of these characters.
Because so far we have 3 for Brainiac and 1 for Darkseid.
Oh, man, see, I'm voting for Darkseid. But the thing is again, Brainiac is one of those characters where it's not like Padme and Darth Maul, because if Brainiac wins, I won't be upset, because Brainiac is like, he's one of those level characters that, you know, he's that much of a threat, and I wouldn't be upset if he won. Yeah, ultimately I go Darkseid.
Okay. And what about you, Squints?
Same.
Darkseid?
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody is really feeling Darkseid, you better get your votes in now.
Because he's losing to Brainiac.
Because he's losing against Brainiac.
You want to pull up a picture of Brainiac and see what he looks like?
I think I have an idea.
Yeah, he'll look familiar to you as soon as you see him.
Yeah. Team Boom Tube.
Boom tubes are how apocalyptians get around. So his planet is called Apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
And that's how they travel, is through boom tube.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Tyler said he's putting tacos on the table for that match.
He's putting tacos on the table
Uh-oh.
for that match.
I mean, it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I want to say they fought in the comic books.
Did they?
I want to say they have, because Darkseid is he's very much like, he wants full control of everything, and Brainiac would be someone that gets in his way.
Right. Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, because Darkseid is not he is purely bad, but he's not like I'm a bad guy, I only go up against good guys. No, he will eliminate anyone that gets in his way. If you do not have the same goal as him, and which is him controlling everything, then he will kill you.
Jordan just shared a link, but I'm scared to click on it because I don't know how to use this computer.
Did he share a link of like,
it's like a link of like Darkseid. I'm just looking in like the text of it. It just says Darkseid versus Brainiac.
So they did fight. See, I thought they did.
Oh, okay. It's like literally it's what it says in the web address. So I don't know. I guess I can go into the chat and see it, but I'm not good at that kind of multitasking. All right. So, okay. Hearing none, seeing none. We're going to say that Darkseid is not in the running anymore to be the ultimate, and it is going to be Brainiac.
I'm not upset by it, but I'm more, if anything, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What was that? Is that the
That
link?
was me. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool. I thought I did something wrong. Okay, so now we are down to Joker, General Zod, Doomsday, and Brainiac.
Again, these are
the
all
final 4.
What's funny is these are all major mainline villains in DC. These are all guys I would expect to be in the final 4.
Okay, so final 4. Do I need to do? I don't need to do a recap of the verses.
So I'll tell you, I don't think you need to, but
Okay.
James might get upset if you don't.
Well, he can write me up.
There you go.
He can take it out of my pay. How about that?
There you go. He can take it out of your paycheck.
He can take it out of my pay. Okay, so we're just gonna get down to it. The final 4.
He's just gonna tell you can't ride the distance starting jet anymore.
Oh man. So we're gonna do Joker versus General Zod.
Ooh, I also think this is a fight that's happened before, and I want to say that the Joker won this one.
Joker versus General Zod.
Here's the thing about the Joker is if Joker knows that Zod is a Kryptonian, then he knows that Kryptonite can stop him.
Okay.
Right. In what was the storyline? Injustice, which is it's both a video game and a comic book.
Mhm.
In Injustice, the Joker, being the anarchist that he is, wanted to just throw Superman off. So he uses the Joker toxin. He uses kryptonite and the Joker toxin to make Superman think that Lois Lane is I don't remember who he made her think it was, but he basically kills Lois Lane. Like he makes Superman kill Lois Lane while she's pregnant with his child.
That's rude.
It's so heartbreaking, but like it throws Superman off the edge, and Superman ends up killing the Joker because of what he made him do. But the thing is, again, the Joker can manipulate people into doing stuff like that.
Sure.
That's what makes him that much more of a threat.
Mm-hmm. I know enough to make an educated guess.
So between Zod and the Joker, I think they have very equal levels of kind of like just what lengths they're willing to go to defeat their others, like their enemies.
Yeah.
I think the Joker is probably more depraved than Zod is. Zod has a little more restraint.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But at the same time, I do feel like given the opportunity in a situation where like they're fighting for their lives, Zod would not hesitate to just, laser the Joker's head off of like his body.
Yeah.
So which one are you going for?
I think I'm gonna go Zod because I feel like, if this is a who, and usually I think this is actually supposed to be like who's the better villain. I would probably go Joker, but I always put these in the context of if they fought each other.
Yeah.
And I think in a fight, Zod would probably come out on top.
Okay.
Because again, it's that I'm the zero tolerance that he has, and he's just gonna be like beneath me and then just kill the Joker.
So you going for Zod?
I think I'm gonna go for Zod on this.
Squints, what are you going for?
Zod.
Okay.
Because you have to kneel before Zod.
Okay. Well, I'm going for the Joker.
Really?
I would like to see what the Joker comes up with.
It would be something super fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be.
Tyler's voting Joker. I do want to put Aaron Watson's dad joke on display here.
Oh, do it. We love dad jokes around here.
I'm trying to find it. It originated up here somewhere. Oh, if he had a landscaping business, it would be called, wait for it, General Zod.
Hey-oh!
And
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be here all night.
The encore to that dad joke was, at General Zod's, you'll kneel before our green grass.
Oh my God.
Now, if that isn't marketing greatness, I don't know what is.
And you guys have heard me say this more than once. This is why me and Aaron are friends.
Okay, and then Joker. So I just got 2 more for Joker.
Nice.
From Tyler and Dre.
I like halfway want to change my vote, but I'm sticking to my guns.
You do that. Go down in a blaze of glory. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say hearing none, seeing none. Joker.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Joker got that one. All right.
A great philosopher once said, don't start none, won't be none.
Okay, so next up we have Doomsday versus Brainiac. Doomsday versus Brainiac.
Okay. Again, this is where it gets difficult because I've been harking on how Doomsday is like the ultimate, like, you know, Doomsday device.
Yes.
The thing is something like Brainiac would know how to neutralize him.
Sure.
And again, he would realize that he can't kill Doomsday because Doomsday can't be killed.
Mm-hmm.
But he would know, like, he's the one that would figure out how to get him in the containment suit that he was in the first place.
Sure.
Oh, I got these on backwards.
So what's your vote for?
Do I go Doomsday or do I go?
Well, what are the pros and the cons?
Like, Brainiac is one of those characters where they had to do an entire like series of events because like he's almost like Apocalypse in X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
They needed like both villains and heroes to like work together to stop him. But Doomsday was like an entire Justice League event. Like the entire league needed to get together to stop him because, well, obviously because he killed Superman. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, there was like this weird story about how they got Superman back, but it's about how Superman never truly dies.
Mm-hmm.
When he was killed, he went dormant. But because his heartbeat was like so low, they thought he died.
Yeah.
And so he ends up going into this like dormant mode and like sleeping until he regenerates himself enough to come back, and he comes back and defeats Doomsday. But like for years, Superman was dead. They didn't bring back Superman for like years. God, who? Like, I want to go Doomsday. I really want to go Doomsday.
But
Brainiac is such a good character. It's hard not to like go with Doomsday with Brainiac.
Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I want to see what everybody else says.
I have none for Doomsday. I have
everybody for Brainiac.
So far, Jordan has said that Doomsday is just raw power and destruction, and your sister concurred with that, I guess.
And that's
just brute force.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That's where I was giving Brainiac. That's why I said at the beginning, like, he would find a way to neutralize him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you can't kill Doomsday, but you can stop him in different ways.
Yeah.
And that's where I think he has the upper hand.
So Doomsday is the one with the containment suit.
When you first see him, he has a containment suit on, and then when they get out of the containment suit, he's just pure destruction.
Ultimately, Brainiac would probably figure out a way to get him back in the containment.
Exactly,
suit.
Which was like kind of like what they were trying to do the entire comic, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think ultimately, like I said, my gut, I want to go with Doomsday, but I think Brainiac would ultimately win that fight. So I'm gonna go Brainiac.
8-minute warning.
That's fine.
Okay, so Brainiac, and then what for you, Squints?
I'm going Brainiac as well.
Okay.
So I think it's a sweep.
Yeah, I think that's a sweep.
For sure. All right. So, it's actually ironic that we have, not ironic, interesting. I oftentimes say ironic when I mean interesting. We have
Isn't it ironic?
Joker,
don't you think?
Versus Brainiac.
Wow.
Which they're similar but different.
Yeah. Again, there's a level
it's a lot of like mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that's usually what it comes down to is the more cerebral villains are the ones that usually tend to be the ones that come out on top.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat, we're down to the final two, Joker versus Brainiac. Go ahead and get your votes in.
Again, it's a difficult decision to go with, like who would win that.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's gonna come down to, you have this character in the Joker who is a very extremely smart and just, you know, someone who can who thinks outside the box, versus someone like Brainiac who has universal knowledge.
Mhm.
And I think with that, I'm gonna go Brainiac overall, because I think that universal knowledge gives him an edge. Like, the only other person I put up there with that level of like knowledge would
Yeah, but
probably be like
Joker
Vandal
seems so
Savage.
ruthless.
He is.
Like, I feel like
Oh.
Brainiac may have a little bit of a conscience.
No, Brainiac is pretty ruthless. Brainiac's entire his entire reason for being is to destroy like just humans in general. He destroyed, like I said when I was talking about him last week. His whole thing is he catalogs like races.
Yeah.
And then in order to preserve the race, he kills off the race. Right? He has no value for life.
Okay.
His whole thing is he has the preservation of knowledge, but he has no care for life.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of give him that edge, is because he doesn't care whether something lives or dies.
Yeah.
The Joker at one point, at some level, cares about his own life, but only to a certain degree. So he kind of doesn't at the same time. But
I just want to share with you because you can't see the chat. What Aaron Watson shared is he goes with Brainiac purely because the Joker is rooted in Earth and he doesn't have the cosmic knowledge that Brainiac does.
Right.
Which you were calling universal knowledge, right?
Right. That's it's the same concept. Like, he has like just pure cosmic knowledge. And I think ultimately Brainiac, because of his knowledge of everything, is what gives him an edge over the Joker.
Oh. Tyler's double dipping. Actually, no, he just didn't spell it right, and then he corrected himself.
He's like, can I get the Joker and Brainiac?
No. He did Brainiac twice, but he forgot the R the first time he spelled it. Which
Brainiac?
Yeah, basic. Oh, that could be like a hybrid.
Yep.
Between.
Which is funny because that was the first fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hybrid between Brainiac and Bane. They come together. Brainiac.
The Brainiac.
I'm easily amused.
And at that point, that's where he would use that weird voice that Tom Hardy made.
His Cuban voice?
No, the Cuban voice is the actual Bane, but I mean, like he would do the Tom Hardy style.
Oh, yeah.
That's where that Tom Hardy voice would make sense for Bane.
Tyler said, "Good one, Phil." I mean, there were multiple good ones in that one. So what is your choice, Squints?
I am going Brainiac as well. I don't think that Joker would have a chance.
Okay. Only person who voted for Joker was your sister.
Yeah, and I mean,
Jessica.
I'm a hardcore Joker fan. Like, we all know this. I am a giant Joker fan. He is my in DC. I was gonna say Marvel at first. In DC, he is like my ultimate favorite villain. And I think part of it is because he is an anarchist, because he is like, he has a like just no regard for anyone but himself, and he destroys things for the sake of destruction and to amuse himself. His ultimate goal is to try and he tries to prove that everyone is as depraved as he is. That on some level everyone is as broken and messed up as he is.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a level of intrigue and interest in that character to me, because of just the way that he thinks and the way he does things.
Yeah. I watched, the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I've actually seen that twice.
Really?
Yes, I watched it when we were coming back from Nashville.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I liked it when we watched it. And then when I saw it was an option when we were flying back from Nashville, I was like, I'm going to watch that again, because I did enjoy it. And I liked watching not well, I liked watching it, but I liked watching when you were talking about how his makeup changes versus what he's like not hallucinating about, but like what he you know what I'm trying to say. I can't you explain it better than I do. You can tell when it's reality versus what's in his head. You can tell by his makeup.
Like the whole thing with
So it was cool to go back and watch that and like pay attention to that and see how like true that was.
Right. Like the whole thing with that character, I originally didn't like the way that he was portrayed
in that movie.
Or not that I didn't like the way he was portrayed. It was the way that they kind of marketed it. I didn't like.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't like the idea of having sympathy for the Joker. I don't think like he's one of those characters where you shouldn't not have sympathy for him. He has to be a monster in order to be effective of a character as effective of a character as he is.
Sure.
And what I ended up liking, like in what they did, is in the end, he ended up being an unreliable narrator. And that like brought it back to what I thought the Joker was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was first watching it, it was like, okay, this is interesting, but I'm a little upset about this because I don't want sympathy for the Joker. I don't think that you should have sympathy for a character that should just be portrayed as a demonstrable demon, you know, just the level of piece of shit that he should be.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the end, you end up finding out that like he hallucinated like almost everything you saw in that movie. And it's like, that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be like, in the end, it's like, this is a story that he told and he's an unreliable narrator. And that's what it ended up being. So that's where I became kind of sort of happy with that movie.
Yeah.
Because everything is told through his perspective and you can't trust his perspective.
Now I have to watch it a third time and look for that.
You realize it at the very end of the movie.
Okay. So Aaron is saying we need to. Okay, sorry. Aaron's not saying anything. Okay, so
what did he say?
Nothing. It's not important. I promise you, it's not important.
Okay.
Okay. So between Joker and Brainiac, we really only had one for Joker. And we're going to go ahead, hearing none, seeing none, close this side of the bracket with Brainiac reigning victorious over
that's just on this side of the bracket, right?
That's just this side of the bracket.
If we want to get one or two of them done, because I've got a little bit left here.
Well, I was thinking we should just do a hard stop on the bracket, and then whoever ends up being on next week, either if it's me or whoever is on next week, I can either come and help out, or somebody can take it over, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't whatever works out. But you know what we did not talk about?
What did we not talk about?
We did not talk about if we had any new business.
New business.
Do we have any new business? Any pressing issues? Oh, was that you, Greg, that came up with that last?
Yeah. Any pressing issues? The only thing that comes to mind is in about 2 weeks' time, we are going to be in Idaho.
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 What's going on in Idaho?
We are doing a very fun show called Gem State Comic-Con. And we are going to be hosting some celebrity interviews. Specifically with we got a Power Ranger one, a couple Power Rangers we're going to be interviewing. We have Jackie Lastra, who is a voiceover artist in the anime world. Who else do we got? What else do we got going on? I mean, we got a couple things happening.
So you guys are going out to Idaho, Idaho, and you're gonna do are you guys just have a booth, or are you doing any hosting? Is there anything that anybody else can look forward to?
Yeah, we're going to be doing celebrity interviews.
Are you going to be doing any like live things that we can check out anywhere?
We probably are going to go live on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Instagram.
Okay.
We're going to be doing some giveaways. I know that, but it's mostly for people at the show. But I mean, if you guys catch it and you're in there, by all means, if you win, you win, and we can send you stuff.
Stuff is good. We like stuff.
We can send you winnings.
As Phil says, he's not averse to buying your affection.
I am not afraid to buy your affection.
Jackie's afraid of buying your affection.
Jackie is afraid of buying your affection because
Jackie's afraid of the budget that Phil takes.
That's the whole thing. That means Phil has to spend more money, and she's just like, "Why are you? No, we have a wedding. Stop spending money."
Yes,
but I am not afraid to buy your affection. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you catch us in Idaho, then we're going to be going on Instagram on Instagram Live, all that kind of stuff. Now, the other big thing is if you guys help us get the 700 followers on our Facebooks. I've got 2 kits that I'm going to be giving away.
Okay.
That I have in the closet over here. I have a mini Razor Crest Lego kit, and then I have the Ahsoka and Darth Maul fight set. And both of those I have already acquired. I have already to give away. So if you guys help us get to 700 followers, which right now I think we're at like 580 or something like that, we need about 120.
So if one person from all of your followers follows us and enjoys us, then we could meet that goal.
Mm-hmm. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Help us get to 700 followers, and I'm gonna hold raffles, and everybody is eligible to win that.
So any other pressing issues? New business, old business, none of your business.
W's coming back in stock.
W is coming back in stock.
So for those who have, I've noticed a couple people who have purchased some stuff. For those of you who have purchased, they are coming back in stock soon, and they just sent out an email that hopefully within this week they're going to start shipping all the pre-orders.
Okay.
So that's for everybody who has ordered from W. We appreciate your patronage and your help and support.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So just to get everybody super excited about next week's bracket,
Super.
we are going to go down what villains we can look forward to. First, we're going to start with Amazo, Black Manta,
Mm-hmm.
Sinestro. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Felix Faust,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Destiny, Anti-Monitor, Orm, Starro,
Mm-hmm.
Ultraman, Steppenwolf, Owlman, Cheetah, Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday. Killed on a Tuesday.
Let's see.
I gotta find the nursery rhyme for you.
You do.
Yeah.
Black Adam, Lex Luthor, and then we have to find a substitute for the second Captain Cold.
I thought I wrote one in, but I'll look at it.
No. So for some reason, Captain Cold is on here twice. We're trying to find an alternate.
Oh wait, on the first bracket was Mr. Freeze on there?
No.
Swap it out with Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Okay, I'll write that down.
Because he was also a part of the Legion of Doom, so that makes total sense.
Oh, and then you're switching out one Cold for another.
Exactly. I was trying to find similar characters.
Okay. Oh, jeez, Aaron's funny.
What do you say?
I'll take unknown DC villains for 800, Alex.
Captain Cold is not an unknown DC villain, man. Captain Cold's a pretty big villain.
Yeah.
He's a major Flash villain.
Yeah.
Like him, Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang are like 2 major Flash villains. Gorilla Grodd being another one too.
Well, I'll have some time to look into these.
I'm just wondering whether I should
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether I should just have Jackie watch some of the cartoons that have them in it.
Yeah, that may be the easiest.
Yeah, well, I mean that's easier than trying to find comic books for her.
Yeah.
I wonder. I need to actually look, but I think I can get some from like the library and just look at them on my Kindle or read them on my Kindle. Now that my Kindle's charged, I've been doing really good reading this year. So I'd like to keep that going, and I just want to keep my read. Sorry, I'm losing my steam now.
I mean, the reason that I chose some of the comic books that I did, the reason I chose some of the comic books that I gave you is because they're like really good storylines.
Yeah.
So I tried to also find, ones that had engaging stories.
Sure.
So that way they are more interesting to you.
Yeah.
Because I know you like reading good stuff.
I just like good stories.
Right. That's why I figured, okay, well, let me get the ones that have the best stories.
Write my own stories now. All right, where are we at on the Batmobile?
I just finished the last piece right there. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and show everybody what we have so far.
Okay.
So we have the cockpit for the most part.
Oh, sweet.
Right. A lot of like the back piece right here. It's starting to become slowly starting to become the pod. Next is like putting on like the armor pieces on the front and everything like that. On the inside, it's harder to see, like, because I can barely see it right here, but like on the inside right here, there's a lot of like instrument panels and stuff like that. There's like a lot of detail on the inside. Like there's a radar system in there. There's a couple of like different things in there. It's kind of cool the way they have it set up. But yeah, so that is what we got through 2 bags this week. So next week we'll be able to get through 4. Doesn't look like it's too big. 5 is only a single bag. So I'll probably be able to get through between 2 to 3 bags next week.
Okay.
So we are on part 4 now. I'm gonna bookmark this. And that is it. Let me go ahead and switch my cameras here. You guys like looking at my back? Is that an Imperial cruiser? There's an Imperial cruiser. No, you can't see it anywhere.
Where is it?
Here. Actually, I don't have an Imperial.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, that's the one that I want. The $700 one.
Oh, put it on a Christmas list.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody can pitch in for that one.
A wedding. Put it on the wedding registry.
Oh yeah. All right, let's change cameras here. Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Oh boy, we had a great bill today.
Yes, we did.
Oh, my mic is messed up. Hold on.
We had a good build.
We had a good interview.
An awesome
Yes.
interview.
James Durbin was pretty badass. Is it weird hearing Mickey say things like this?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Are we having fun, boys and girls? All right, we had our fun. All right.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm just prolonging the show at this point. So, guys, it is time. So pressing issues. Going back to that, guys. Remember, we have 2 to 3 shows a week, but the 2 steady ones are the one you're watching right now. The build from 6 to 8 on Mondays, and then on Wednesdays we have. Sorry, dropping that. On Wednesdays, we have the download where we do the news. If you guys don't catch that, you got to go ahead and check that one out. Turbo Man. Yeah, he is Turbo Man. That's pretty awesome. James was mentioning that James Durbin is Turbo Man. But yeah, so guys, that right there. And then, of course, catch me doing game streams randomly over the week, having fun doing that, playing games, currently still playing Destiny. I'm actually close to maxing out my first character, which means I'm going to start working on the second one. And really, I need to start a brand new character, and we're going to walk through that for everybody on playing through everything. James saying the download is really good, mainly because he's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, technically he could be on this show, but
it's not as good as it could be yet because I haven't been on it.
There you go. Look at that. But no, we have a lot of fun things we're going to talk about on Wednesday. We're probably going to talk about the Will Smith thing and kind of weigh in on that. But either way, we got that right there. Now, guys, we have merch. If you go and hit us up on social media, we have Distance Nerding shirts. We have stickers. If you just let us know you're interested, we can get you a free sticker pack. All you have to do is just let us know you want one. We got a couple new stickers in and a couple other things. We're going to have all this stuff over in Idaho as well at Gem State Comic-Con again, which will be sick of a slap by then. Gem State Comic-Con, which is in Idaho on April 9th. So if you guys can make it out that way, please make your way there. It's going to be great. We're not going to be interviewing him, but Kerry Tagawa is going to be there. He's going to be doing autographs, and I think that's going to be a fun thing to hang out with and whatnot. Outside of that, guys, it is time for the dance party. So I'm sorry, I brain farted for a second right there, which is normal. Jackie will tell you I brain fart all the time. And zoomage. James, she's showing you your legs don't break anymore. You're trying to break it on purpose.
Stop breaking James' legs! All right, guys, we'll see you on Wednesday.